higher. You are listening to an exclusive review. A-S-O-T, A State of Trance.
Hey, what's up, and welcome to a new 10 questions here from the A State of Trance studios. And this week we have the man that released his album Tellurian. Mr. Robert Nickson. How you doing, man?
I'm good, very good.
So, are you ready for 10 questions from our fans?
No, but let's go anyway.
Okay. Well, there's no more escaping now, I guess so.
There's no way back.
No way back. The first question comes from Johnny Arango, 92. When was the last time you took a vacation?
Ooh, I think it was when my sister got married in
1992.
2015 or 16. I can't remember. It was one of probably 16. But that was the last time I took what I would really call a vacation, where I switched off and an actual vacation.
Why is it that I think this is a common problem in producer and DJ world, that you don't take vacation? Why is that? Because you always want to work, or?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, even when you got free time, you're still making music somehow, and perhaps the other time you're traveling, and that kind of feels like a vacation, maybe. And
is there sometimes when you go for gigs, when you go far away, that you stay like a few extra days? Maybe that you can consider that as a vacation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In that case, yeah. I was in Australia last year, and then I stayed a few days. Well, there was the week in between, and then I got there a few days earlier as well. So that was maybe a vacation.
Okay, that's a good answer. Cian Malone 14 always has great questions. He has one for you as well. Do you have a pre-show ritual? If so, what is it?
Showing up is the that's kind of important, and other than that, not really.
Like, for example, Esteban, he does push-ups, or maybe you have something like that, like or when you leave the hotel room, you do a certain thing, or
no, not really. No. Complain about the recorder being connected, and but other than that, no, I don't think so. No, nothing, not a ritual. No.
Okay. Elena 69 Luca has a question. Who is your favorite producer and why?
It's gonna be outside of the trance genre, and it's probably still M83. What's his name? Anthony Gonzalez, I think, and he
why?
does amazing stuff. I don't know, because it's the style of music he makes. It's in between everything. It's electronic, but it's rock. It's epic. It's trancey to an extent, and it's just everything is in there what I love, and it's just beyond anything. I don't know anything that sounds like it either. So,
and the funny thing is that most people have no idea who it is, but they heard a ton of music from him.
I'm sure. So most people don't know the track name Midnight City, but when they hear the track,
that's the tune. Yeah.
And perhaps you've seen in those extreme sport videos, which are always sponsored by Red Bull. They often use his music, or did anyway.
So check it out. Make sure to check it out. Next one is without a name. I don't know why, but what is coming up for RNX and new tracks? Because you finished the album now, Tellurian, so that means that you have some more time to do some other stuff.
So there's a couple of tracks on the album which are RNX styled. I'm not sure if we do the singles, if they'll be as RNX or just as Rob Nickson. I don't know, but there are some RNX. I've done an RNX remix, which is coming out on Pure Trance at some point. I've got some tracks laying around which I've been playing for a while, but I mean, it's just all on the album now. So once we get that out of the way, let's say, then start looking at releasing some of those.
So while you were working on Tellurian, did you work on other stuff as well? Was it purely based only on the album? That's it. Because I remember when I was working on my album, like, there were so many different projects that were that didn't make the cut, for example, for my album. So did you work on a lot of more stuff than the...
there were so many tracks. I mean, at one point I wanted to do a double album, and I had, I think, 30 something tracks ready. Then I saw Key 4050, they had 32 tracks on their album. So no, I've got to do at least 33 then, because then it's better. And then we just realized, no, this is a bad idea to release this many tracks on an album.
Those days are gone.
So let's just make it one album, or one CD, and go with that. So there's loads of tracks still available from that, including some RNX ones. So so we'll see what we do with those.
So lots more to come in the future.
Loads more.
And Jack wants to know, what is the one essential thing you always need at a show?
Well, I guess it's a USB stick. I mean, even headphones would be, the USB stick number one, headphones number two. You can probably mix without headphones.
Nowadays, yes,
probably.
absolutely.
So yeah, USB stick is preferable and
okay, let's put all of that aside, like the typical stuff. So the mixer, the DJ, the USB stick, the headphones. What else do you need for
a crowd would be nice.
That's quite essential.
It helps. I mean,
Is there anything weird on your rider, for example?
Not really, no. I didn't even make my rider. My old manager made my rider, and it's very clear that he made it because it's all the stuff he likes that's on there. So it's
coconut water.
There's there's nothing weird on there like blue M&Ms or something like that.
Okay.
I should do that actually.
Yeah, you should do that. Another question without a name, actually. I don't know. Maybe next time it would be nice to know that as well. Can you remember the very first moment you heard trance music?
I'm guessing Robert Miles' Children. That's still considered trance. The real first time where it's like trance as we know it sort of today, perhaps. When a friend of mine gave me a copy of Chesto's Inner City CD, and then of course it starts with Push Universal Nation, and that was also to me immediately the beginning. Like, yes, this is going to be it.
I remember that very moment I got that CD as well. Yeah. Such an iconic moment for me as well. Next one comes from Meta Lex. Who is your biggest inspiration?
Ooh, I would have to say probably Ferry Corsten.
Yeah?
Probably Ferry Corsten, yeah.
And why?
I mean, his melodies are unbelievable, and he's just been doing it so long. And just when you think there's no more, just when you think we've done all the beautiful melodies, now there's no more room for any other ones, and he comes along again and like, oh, okay, there he is again. He's done it again.
Yeah, out of nowhere, he suddenly had Tune of the Year again. Like, hey guys, I'm back. Here's Guriella. Are you planning to, because only a few weeks ago you celebrated 15 years of Spiral. Are you planning to do more reworks, because you reworked that in 2014 or 15? Are you planning to do more reworks of older tunes?
I've thought about it. I don't know. I mean, never say never, I guess. Maybe at some point. I just don't really know. I mean, these were the two obvious ones I did with Spiral and Out There. They were the two obvious ones to do first, and I'm not really sure which one to do next. If
you had so many.
But those were the obvious ones, and now the other ones, they're sort of on a different level, let's say. So it's I don't know which one to do next, if I do one, and what to do with it, because it's it's tricky, because even redoing Out There, I wanted to do it for years, and it took me probably 8-9 years before I got to the point where, this is
because you set the bar so high also.
Well, not that, but I just,
just didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right, no.
Okay, well.
So yes, at some point probably, but I don't know which or when, or there's no.
Maybe that's another one that people can put in the comment section below here. If you have suggestions of Robert Nickson to rework any tunes, just write it down in the comment section.
Let me know.
Let him know,
and I'll ignore it.
Next one comes from Tom Evans 96. What is your favorite release of the year so far?
Whoa.
It's been a good year so far.
I don't know. I really don't know. Let's circle back to that one, because then I would need to get my brain thinking of what's been released this year.
We'll get back to that one. Now you have the album out of the way. The question comes from EOIN1453. What is in store for yourself next year?
Well, I think the rest of the year we're going to do stuff from the album, and then next year I don't know, because like I said before, I had so much music left from that didn't make it on the album, so I want to finish that up and see what I do with that. Whether I do another album with it, I don't know yet, or just singles from it, and take it from there, I guess.
Yeah, you also started experimenting with live shows. Is it something you're gonna roll out as well? Because I saw you at Dream State, Luminosity. You did like special. You brought your keyboards, your synths. I don't know what else you brought. You're gonna do that in the near future?
I'd love to do that again. It's very. It's not an easy thing to do as such, because it's it's so. I always say I look very miserable when I'm doing, because I'm so focused on what I'm doing. Because I noticed when I was practicing doing it, as soon as you look away and stop focusing, because I'm actually playing what you hear, and then I lose track of everything, and then it goes horribly wrong. So I'm just always focused on it, and it's I mean, I'd love to do it again, because it's so real somehow. It's so So I mean, I'd love to do that again. Yeah.
And you didn't look up. So does it mean that people said there was no crowd interaction, or? Well?
I don't know. I think many people don't realize what I'm doing because
you can't see it. Really, because unless you put a camera above it, I guess.
Well, that's one thing I'd want to do, yeah. And at some of them, I brought a guitar along as well, and that you can actually see kind of because I'm holding it a bit high, and I make sure I hold it a bit higher, and you can sort of see that. Well, yeah, I'll have to try that next time. Yeah, behind my back like that.
All right. The next question comes from John's Cat. What is your favorite show you've played to date? It's always a hard one.
One of my favorite ones was at ADE 2 years ago, I think it was, and it was a pure trance show. And I did the live thing there, and I think it was the second live show I did by myself. And I figured out a lot of things which went wrong in the first live show I did, and I managed to sort them out for that one. And everything felt right there, where it's I think most people actually realized what I was doing there, and so I think that's one of them in there. Yeah. But
did you consult, for example, Giuseppe Ottaviani on how he does it, or you just were like, I'll find it out myself?
I did, but he does it in a different way because he uses
samplers.
Yeah. He uses more of that with launching clips and everything. Yeah. So he uses what's it called in Ableton, where you have the sequencer view and you have the other
session
one,
view,
the session view. And I could never get on with the session view, so it's much more. It's very different from how he does it. So I tried figuring out how he does it. Looking at the videos because he has the camera down on it, so really figuring out what he does. But
I remember here during ADE, I think it was 2 years ago, that we were here in the studio and everybody was just like looking at him, what are you doing, man? So you should have that too. If you have a live show, maybe ask if they can put a camera above and put it on the screens, because then you can really see what you're doing. And it makes perfect sense. So circling back to what is your favorite release of this year?
Oh God, no. Was it this? I can't remember. I can't remember if it was this year or last year, and I can't even remember the track title, but there was one by Cold Blue, which was really, really awesome. I love the stuff he does, and I just can't remember what it's called, though.
Okay, we'll have to look. Maybe you should comment it underneath this video. You comment it yourself, write it down. Write it underneath.
I'll do that. I'll look it up, and it might not even be a Cold Blue track anymore when I think of it, so...
So it was a good tune, that's it.
It's always the impossible question. What's your favorite tune? Or even worse, what's your favorite tune? You ask me today, it'll be something different from tomorrow, right?
That's... Well...
Can you answer that question? What is
my
your favorite
all-time tune?
All-time tune?
James Holden, Horizons.
Really? Well, good call, but you really...
Yeah, because I got this question a million times in interviews as well, so I have to stick to it. I know, but you're right. Sometimes it's something different, I guess. Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to do these 10 questions, Robert Nickson. Make sure to check out his album Tellurian. It's fantastic. Make sure to check it out. And thank you so much for tuning into these 10 questions. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lifting you higher. This is A State of Trance.